Sydney Council is threatening not to collect household bins that have political stickers criticising political figures. The stickers feature images of Barnaby Joyce and Scott Morrison holding a piece of coal, and they're accompanied by slogans saying chuck them out or bin him. Clever. Joining me now is the Mayor of Hornsby, and he is also the President of the New South Wales Liberal Party, Philip Ruddock. Is this true, Philip Ruddock?
Well, it's certainly the case that the council officers took the decision in relation to the bins, which are council property, that they should not be interfered with by putting on them advertising material. I mean, we do have people from time to time who'd like to advertise their businesses on the bins. There are people who might like to advertise their sporting activities, and there are people who want to politicise it. I would simply say, and I must say this was not my decision, it was made by the professional staff, but I simply want to say if you have signage that you want to put it up in your garden on a post on your property, but don't use the council property.
How many complaints have you had?
I've had none. I've had a few comments because it's been in the media, but look, I mean, the reality is that we do have an issue in Hornsby Shire about people who want to use public property during election campaigns. It's been a position the Greens, the Labor and Liberal councillors have taken, that we wouldn't deface lampposts, council property, we would put up on the bus sheds, we wouldn't use public property, and the bins are public property. You don't own them, you hire them from the council to remove your waste, and we ask you not to deface them with advertising material of any form.
But I thought this whole thing was put in place because there was a complaint made and therefore the council acted on it.
That may well be. I'd have to ask my council officers whether that was the situation. Yeah. We've had other signage. There were signs around for Clive Palmer's party and people were complaining to me and they were put on public property and they were removed. This is a standard practice in Hornsby that we don't use the public property for political advertising or commercial advertising. If you want to do it, you do it on your own property.
But we're talking about bins, Philip Ruddock. Are we going a little over the top here?
Well, it's a consistent practice. That's all I would say.
Oh, they only go out once a week as well, so it's actually not very good advertising at all, is it?
I think if you're really wanting to make a political point, you go into your garden, you get a stake and you put your post up on the stake and it's your stake on your property and everybody can see it.
Do you appreciate that it's quite clever, you know, bin him, play on words?
Oh, I think that people want to be smart in various ways, but I don't think it's for me to make those judgments. Look, I mean, I didn't do it. The council staff did it and they're the professional staff and I back their decision.
As a freedom of speech warrior, are you worried about the precedent that this might set?
No, I believe very strongly on freedom of speech and I believe always it should be exercised responsibly and carefully. There are some things that you can't do. If I can just be mischievous enough in relation to religious freedom, you know, people assert if you give people a right to religious freedom, they're free to say whatever they believe. And I have to say, I did once challenge a rector to tell me whether or not he could use 1 Peter, where Peter spoke about the obligations of a slave to his master, and that justified slavery. You know, there are limits to freedom of speech, as there are even in relation to freedom of religion.
I'm a bit lost in that analogy.
It's very clear. The Bible was advocating slavery. Slaves have a duty to their master, and the master has a duty to the slave.
Okay. How's that? Okay, bring me back to the bins. How does that relate again?
It's simply a question. You ask me about freedom of speech, and I'm simply saying freedom of speech doesn't give you the right to deface public property. That's all.
Philip Ruddock, do you have a conflict of interest here?
Me? I'm not putting any signage on the bins.
But in all seriousness, being New South Wales Party President and the Mayor, is there a small issue?
Let me say, I didn't make the decision. I didn't speak to council staff about it. It wasn't something that I demanded. I'm defending the decision that the council officers took.
So you had no involvement in the decision-making process?
No role at all.
Just while we've got you, are you a bit nervous about this upcoming election?
I always think every election is there to be won. Good on you.
All right, we'll take that. Philip Ruddock, thanks so much.
Thank you very much.